Hi everyone, it's Lindy and I'll Create. And for today's project, I am starting with this canvas. I did get this at a thrift store and it has something on the front that I didn't care for. So I'm going to remove the canvas with a utility knife. I just ran it down the side. I didn't bother removing the staples. And I'm going to be using the frame and I'm going to use the backside of this canvas. Once I had the canvas removed, I flipped the frame over and I painted it with Waverly Antique Wax. And you could use a baby wipe to do this, but I wanted mine kind of dark, so I used a paintbrush. And what I do is I put the wax on and then I wipe off the excess with a paper towel. And I do that per side. I don't like to paint the entire thing and then remove the excess because some of it'll be dry and it'll be too dark in some spots and too light in other spots. So that's just the way I do it. If you don't have the Waverly Antique Wax, you can do this with regular stain. I just prefer the wax because it doesn't stain my hands and it has no fumes. Or you could actually do this with paint as well. Once that frame was completely dry, I took a candle and I'm just going to rub that candle all over the frame just to get some wax on there. There was no rhyme or reason to the way I did it. I just did it in random spots. Next, I took Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster and I painted the frame right on top of the wax. I did not give this a heavy, thick coat. I just gave it one coat, and as you can see, it's kind of a dry brush. You can see some of that stain coming through. Once that was completely dry, I went over the entire frame with a scraper. And everywhere that I applied the wax on that frame, that white paint is going to lift up, leaving this frame with a very cool and chippy finish. This look can also be achieved by using Vaseline instead of wax. You would just use a paintbrush and put the Vaseline in random spots over the antique wax, paint over it with the white paint. When it's dry, use the scraper and you get almost the same look, which I think turned out really great. Now I'm going to paint that canvas, and I just made my own color here. I used kind of like a dark hunter green. I added some white, and then I added a little bit of brown, and this is what I came up with. And I just painted right over the entire canvas. And when that was completely dry, I placed it over the top of a piece of cardboard that I cut to fit, and I flipped it over and I glued that canvas around the back onto the cardboard. I placed the frame on top of it and then I flipped it over, made sure it was even all the way around and that the cardboard and canvas wasn't showing from the front. And then I used my electric stapler to attach it to the back of the frame. Now I'm going to add some doilies to it. So I got all these doilies at like a thrift store or a yard sale, and I picked ones that were all different shapes and sizes, and I wanted each one of them to be touching each other. So I just laid them out and tweaked them, and once I had the look that I liked, I went in and I started hot gluing them. And I just added the hot glue to the thickest part of that doily so it won't seep through all of those little spaces on the doily. Then I flipped it over and I added a sawtooth hanger to the back. And I love this project. I think this turned out so pretty. I think it has a very simple design, but it really has a big impact. It's just so delicate and beautiful. And I really hope you love the project too. And I hope you give this one a try. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a great day. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.